Yo, what's good? It's Miss Stora. So Sony had another State of Play live stream event yesterday, and your boy's got some feelings. I've got some thoughts on some of the stuff that we were shown during this event. So I want to come up on here and just make a quick video kind of giving an overview on my opinions on some of the stuff that we saw during this gaming showcase. Now, unfortunately, I was busy personally playing some D&D, so I didn't get to do what I normally do for these kind of live stream gaming showcases, which I'll stream it myself and give you all my first reactions live. There also won't be any videos uploaded to this channel of my personal reactions as a result, but I did go back, and after I was done playing D&D, I watched the event myself, and like I said, I've got some thoughts. So let's go ahead and get jumping into my overview of kind of just the event as a whole. That being said, I'm going to mostly be touching and talking about the games and projects that interested me personally, with a few mentions here and there of things that I didn't find all that interesting. But for the most part, I'm only going to be talking about or giving special attention to the games that I'm personally interested in. So if I didn't talk about it in this video, but it was in the State of Play showcase, that probably just means it's not something I'm interested in. But let's go ahead, let's jump into it. So first things first, you already know we've got to talk about Baldur's Gate 3. Come on now. Come on now. So much hype in the trailer we got for this event, man. There's lots of good stuff in it. So we got a digital deluxe edition, right, which is going to be $10 more than the standard game. That has a lot of good stuff in it, especially if you're Divinity Original Sin 2 fan, and as well as a PS5 version of the game on launch with split screen. Yo, cut it out. And also with the Stadia version of the game being dead, it is nice to see via that trailer that the game is coming out on GeForce Now as well. So if your computer, you don't really got any hardware that's up to snuff for playing the game, there's an option for you to play it anyway, as long as you got a decent internet connection. And also, yo, we got legendary J.K. Simmons, J. Jonah Jameson himself, voicing one of the main villains in this game. Let's go. He's voicing Ketheric Thorm, who, as far as I can tell, what I could look up and just what I could find on him, that character already within the game, is going to be one of the closest underlings to the Absolute, as well as a former leader of the Dark Justicars, who were followers of Shar as well. So that's pretty dope. In general, though, I'll say everything that was shown in this trailer, like some of the new tadpole abilities, like being able to wild shape into a displacer, Shadowheart's new armor, and the new locations all look really interesting and dope. And that honestly just makes me want to get this game sooner. Like, I can't wait. Speaking of which, the actual release date for this game is the very last possible day in August. August 31st, 2023, the game comes out. And yeah, man, Larian is like, yeah, it's coming in August. Boom, last possible date in August, but it's coming. I don't know, it just got a good laugh out of me. But hey, as long as they're keeping their promise, which is August 31st of August, still technically counts, I'm okay with that date, especially if it's kept and there isn't any delays. I mean, a small delay isn't that big of a deal, but for the most part, we've waited this long for what we know just from early access alone to be a quality game. So I personally don't mind waiting a little bit longer, that being till the very end of August, right? I was kind of just in sit tight mode, and I really didn't expect to see much of anything about this game up until release itself. So it was really cool to see more trailers continuing to drop, giving us just more and more of a peek at the game beyond what's available in early access, to just keep the hype going. So good on Larian Studios for sure. The trailer definitely got me hyped personally. Next up, just to talk about it a little bit, PSVR 2 did launch, which is great, but none of the upcoming titles that were shown for the PS2 VR specifically during this State of Play looked all that exciting to me. There wasn't really any of those like up and coming titles for the VR platform that I personally cared about. But the launch lineup itself, though, isn't bad. It's just nothing that was shown in this State of Play makes me go, okay, I got to go out and get a PS2 VR outside of what we have available already on launch, right? But it is what it is. Next up, I want to talk about Destiny 2. Now, I haven't played Destiny 2 since the launch of the game. To be honest, I'm just not a big fan of the game currently. I love Destiny 1, but Destiny 2 just don't scratch the same itch for me. But the direction that the story looks to be going in the most recent trailer, the one that we got during the State of Play, I think it's called the Lightfall expansion, does look really interesting. I don't have enough. I haven't played the game recently enough to kind of understand all the context of what's potentially happening in the trailer, but even still, I was like, yo, it looks like some serious stuff is going down. So I don't think that's going to be enough to get me into the game personally again, but really happy for Destiny fans to be getting what looks to be a pretty dang dope story expansion. And yeah, let's talk about Wayfinders next, which looks not Wayfinders. I think it's Wayfinder. It looks interesting. I like what I see when I look at this game. I just don't know if it has main game potential. Maybe like as a side chick type of game. It's a weird analogy, but like for example, if you're already playing another MMO or live service game, I don't feel like Wayfinder. I don't think it's gonna be the game to suddenly pull you from that one to make you pour all of your time into Wayfinder. Everything about the game looks fun and interesting, but it much more, at least for me personally, in terms of my hype level, my anticipation for the game, I'm probably going to play it on the side in addition to what other games I'm like putting a lot of time into at the moment, right? And yeah, let's go ahead and jump into this one. Naruto Ultimate Ninja Storm Connections is kind of disappointing. Right, kind of disappointing, right? It's just all the store games that we've gotten so far packaged into one, basically, which we already got not that long ago for Ninja Storms 1 through 3, but now they're just including Storm 4 in the bundle, adding a few new characters, you know, Indra, Ashura, and adding a few new team ultimates, updating all the story visuals, and adding a bit of Boruto story. Yeah, this ain't doing it for me. That's not enough Percy to get me into it. All I can say is that this whole brand new package better not be more than like maybe $40, right? Anime video games have got to do better. Like, come on, what are we doing here, right? Now I want to talk about Street Fighter 6 for a second. Look, y'all. Every time I see this game, I want to play it more and more. And I suck at traditional 2D fighting games. I'm awful at them, and I'm really only decent at like platform fighters like Smash and Multiverses and Anime Arena fighters. But I ain't gonna hold you, every time we get a new character reveal for this game, it just looks incredible. Like Zangief was dope. I love the changes that were made to his design. Simple, but breathes a lot of new life into the character. And Lily, her wind abilities, they just flow. Like you could tell the polish in this game is really approaching a next level, especially looking at her character reveal. She just looks fun as hell. And Cammy was yeah, she was jaw dropping, right? Like everything about her was sick. Her new design, the movement, like cut it out, and the fact that she has a move from that like old school Street Fighter movie. The new design, everything, I'm digging it so much. She easily gets a 10 out of 10 in my book. So, you know what I'm saying? Really impressed overall with just how hype everything looks. And the fact that I'm bad at these kind of games still makes you a bit unsure if I'm going to pick this game up personally. But it's pushing it. It's pushing. I'm on the fence. I might have to cop it anyway just to be a casual and at least play through the story and stuff. But I'm really happy that fighting game community fans and Street Fighter fans are just getting what appears to be, at least from trailers alone, such a high quality game and product. I'm really happy for them, for real. And that's going to lead me into some insane hype that is Resident Evil 4 Remake. Bro, how can they make this game any more hype, y'all? I don't understand. The main villain, like Sadler, looks so actually scary, as well as the environments and some of the normal enemies as well being just straight up creepy. Like, come on. Like the area where Leon ends up with all the spike traps shown at the beginning of the trailer, it just looked terrifying. And then we got Luis actually helping you out with melee combos and fighting, and apparently Luis is living way longer in this remake than he does in the original game. If he ends up dying in this game as well, it's gonna hurt me way more than even in the original, because it looks like this game is just giving you so much time to bond with the character. Damn it. And again, I gotta say real quick that the environments in general, just it all looks so good. Like especially the cast, like all of it looks amazing, dark and scary just when compared to the original game. Like the section with the catapults just feels so much more like chaotic and claustrophobic. I love it, I'm telling you. As well as the room in the castle where there's this big ambush and you gotta assist Ashley with turning the cranks. I don't know the name of that room, but the room just looks straight up spooky in the remake here. And actually the gameplay section itself might actually have a little bit of horror to it from what I'm seeing, you know. And in addition to that, all the dialogue that we've been, you know, seeing so far still feels like original RE4 to me, right? The campiness is still there, but it looks like it has just enough seriousness to it. And I'm really glad that it looks like the devs made it a point to keep the spirit of Resident Evil 4 alive while just trying to make it better in every way they possibly could. But it looks like, just like with Dead Space Remake, though, they're making all the right choices in regards to what to change, and I hope that remains true when I get the game in my hands and I review it. Like for example, the knife fight with God, I can't remember, with Krauser, right? The knife fight with Krauser is actually a proper boss fight now. Fam, I'm so hyped to play that. Ada looks in like what, 4 frames of animation. We saw Ada. She looks bad as hell as always, and we got Mercenaries coming as well. Let's go. Although I am a bit bummed. I did read some press releases. Looks like Mercenaries won't be available at launch, so that sucks. But hey, with the demo coming soon, I'm hype. The hype is real, you know what I'm saying? Everything just looks so done with love, but at the same time improved so much from the original that I can't help but be this hype. You know what I'm saying? It's like the rail car section being changed, and it looks absolutely just balls to the wall. The section with Mike with the helicopter, all of it has me really excited. And I don't know, man. This game is looking to try to outdo Dead Space Remake for me. Resident Evil 4 Remake is out here trying to be the greatest video game of all time, and I'm here for it. I'm really excited to see. And that's going to lead me into the last project I want to talk about, which took up most of the time. Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League took up a majority of the state of play. And all right, I'm going to be upfront with y'all. This whole live service thing is killing a good amount of the hype for me. Right, even still, the newest trailer is doing a good job at doing its best to keep that hype pumped up for me. The Flash looks and sounds awesome in this game. We see some like in-game with HUD and everything gameplay this time, and I gotta say, it looks really fun. It looks really fun. I like Harley Quinn's grappling hook. I like the fact that Captain Boomerang is almost a speedster because of that Speed Force gauntlet he has. It's really sick. I'm probably gonna main him. I'm saying Deadshot is this like sick, aerial sniper, and King Shark, I might end up, I'm back and forth between mating Captain Boomerang or King Shark, because it looks like King Shark uses like this Atlantean water magic to like traverse and stuff. It all just looks so insanely dope, man. Like the gameplay itself is looking really impressive, and everyone just has something that looks so fun to play around with and mess with gameplay wise. And the gameplay trailer just drove that point home even more, right? They'll really nail this in terms of gameplay if the enemies aren't too bullet spongy. But of course, with the game having live service elements, I'm not gonna hold my breath in that regard. Those two things tend to go hand in hand. Bullet sponge enemies and live services are best friends, I tell you. If my hype was a 9 before I found out about the live service stuff, I would say it went down all the way to like a 7.5, even after these gameplay demonstrations and stuff. But I mean, that's not to talk crap about the game itself. The game itself looks amazing. Like I said, Flash looks outright dope as hell. His attitude and how his powers are displayed. Wonder Woman's design, come on, it looks so damn good. I love the exchange between her and the Flash. Harley looks like she's gonna control like Spider-Man a little bit, and there's just so much awesome stuff going on here. Normally in these kinds of games, I'll say maybe, let's say they have a cast of 4 playable characters. Typically these games can give me like 1, maybe 2 characters that I gravitate towards in terms of wanting to play. But here I got interest in playing all 4 of them. So again, not to talk crap about the game itself, the game looks good. It's just the live service stuff around it that's kind of making me apprehensive. But we got Gizmo as well. I haven't seen him since like Teen Titans, so I'm excited to interact with that character. I'm really excited to see what Gizmo has going on as well. And speaking of Gizmo, not speaking of, but kind of like related to it, I think he's going to have something to do with the gear sets. This game is going to have gear sets which do different things. Like there's going to be a Bane type gear set, which your attacks will they'll have some of the, I forgot what the name of the juice that he's on. But yeah, they're kind of like these poison or acid pools will appear around where you attack. So the gear set stuff does seem cool, but it does worry me because, live service, I'm wondering how awful is the grind going to be? How bad are they going to make the grind in order to entice people to spend even more money on microtransactions in order to get some of these gear sets or cosmetics quicker, as opposed to just earning them properly through gameplay? In a game that you've paid full price for, mind you. Like, yeah, post-game content is nice, which they said is coming, but they also specifically said a battle pass. So, I like that they mentioned there being new characters introduced post-launch, but I mean, y'all, live service games are shutting down a lot these days. So I don't know if I want to invest that much of a time investment into this game. You know, if it's, let's say, it doesn't do well and the publisher decides to pull the plug on the servers really early, I don't know, man. It'll bum me out because the game itself looks absolutely amazing. But every single time they mention something to do with live service, it just, I don't know, my smile would just evaporate basically. You know, I'd be smiling watching all the gameplay, all the kick-ass stuff happening, and then, oh yeah, by the way, it's gonna have, you know, cosmetic only microtransactions. And I'm like, oh, well, that's great. You know, part of me just can't help but wonder how dope this game would have been had it not gone the live service route. You know what I'm saying? But I'm still gonna hope for the best. You know, who knows, maybe this game is gonna be one of the few live service games that are out there currently now that ends up being worth it for fans long term. We'll just have to wait and see. You know, it is Rocksteady, the original Batman OG Arkham developers, so we got a lot of hopes, but I really want to be more hyped for this game than I currently am. And everything I mentioned just now is kind of stuff that was conveyed in the trailers and in the dev talks during the state of play. So we'll see. We'll see. And with that being said, man, just kind of going into overall my rating, I guess you could say, just my overall thoughts of the entire event as a whole. You would think I would rate this state of play really high with how, I guess you could say, how how much of in a positive light I talked about some of the stuff that was shown, but unfortunately, not really. Don't get me wrong, a lot of what was shown was really cool, but we knew about most of those games already. With several of them, they're coming out real soon. I'm grateful to get to see more of these games that I'm really hyped to play, but at the same time, seeing some brand new announcements that also got me hyped would have been dope too. So overall, this state of play is kind of just in the middle for me. There's about 3 to maybe 4 games, kind of, if you count Suicide Squad, that did a lot of the heavy lifting in terms of getting me excited out of the several games that were shown, you know. So not a great state of play, but not, you know, awful either, you know. But the stuff that was shown from the games I was actually interested in was damn cool, was really cool. But, you know, overall, just kind of in the middle as far as the live service stuff. But I will say, if this live service, and I'm sure they probably may have talked about it on Twitter, was not, the intention of it was not to talk about stuff that, as far as new announcement, but its sole purpose was like, hey, to get people hype for the stuff that's coming soon, it definitely did its job, and it would get a higher rating in that regard. But yeah, man, that's going to do it for me, y'all. Like I said, just want to come up on here, give you all a quick video, give some of my quick thoughts on the state of play, as I didn't get a chance to react to it live. So feel free to let me know in the comments what your thoughts were on what we got to see and what you're hyped to get your hands on as well. As always, y'all, I'm Minstora. I'm going to catch y'all on the next one. Y'all be easy. Peace.